What's going on, Nexus members? I want to go over some of the things that you'll need to know for reconstituting and really try to break it down so it's simple to understand, because I want to make sure that you guys are getting your dosing correctly and you're reconstituting correctly. And the most important thing that you're going to learn is what are these syringes and what are the measurements on them. What is a typical dose going to look like? And I can tell you right now, most people, especially a starter dose, is going to be way up here. You're only going to draw out a tiny little bit. So the number 10 on all of the vials except the 5 milligram. So we want to talk about the 5 milligram because instead of being 10 for 1 milligram, it is actually 20. So it is not a 1-to-1 ratio of water to peptide like all the other ones. So we're going to go over that. So this syringe here has what I call, or what is known as, units. So the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, those are units. So when I say you do 10 units for 1 milligram, that's way up here. So it's going to be that small amount. 100 units is the full syringe, which is 1 milliliter. So now let's look at this bacteriostatic water that you get with every order. This is 3 milliliters, which this syringe is 1 milliliter. So you could draw out a full syringe 3 different times to empty this. The only time you will ever pull all 3 milliliters, so 3 full syringes out of this water, is when you're reconstituting a 30 milligram vial. And that's how you create a 1-to-1 ratio. So the milliliters or units, 100 units, is going to match the first number on the dosage, except the 5 milligram. So on a 30 milligram, you're going to pull every single bit of this water because it's 3. The 30 starts with the 3. So all of it is going to go into the 30 milligram vial. Now to keep a 1-to-1 ratio on the 20 milligram vial, you will pull 2 out of the 3 milliliters. Remember, 1 milliliter in the syringe, full syringe, it's 100 units because they do make 50. So you got to be really careful that you don't have a 50, because if you have a 50, you have to double everything. I don't want to confuse you, but try to get 100 unit or 1 milliliter. Also 1 cc, that all means the same thing, syringe. So again, 2 milliliters, 2 full syringes will go into the 20 milligram vial. That means you'll have 1 single milliliter of water left because you don't need all 3 for a 20 milligram. Now to create the same 1-to-1 ratio for the 10 milligram, you will pull 1 full syringe of water, 100 units or 1 milliliter. That means you'll have 2 milliliters of water left over in this, still in it, 2 out of the 3 still there. And the number 1 in 10 means a 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 full syringe for the number 10. And then, because they all have a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 milliliter of water for the 10 milligram, 2 milliliters of water for the 20 milligram, and 3 milligrams of water for the 30 milligrams. That means they carry the same ratio of peptide to water. So when you pull, let's say you want to do 1 milligram, you're going to pull, once it's already reconstituted, 1, go to the number 10, no matter what, if it's the 10, 20, or 30 milligram vial, because they have a ratio that keeps it 1-to-1. So if you need, no matter which one, 2 milligrams for your dosing, you'll pull to the number 20. You'll make sure that the top of that plunger is right at the number 20. So that is not where I have it currently. number 20. And if you were 3 milligrams, you would go to the top of the plunger, the black part, to the number 30. Again, for the 10, 20, or 30 milligram. Now here's where it gets a little confusing, and I hope to make this a little more understandable, is the 5 milligram only has half the amount of peptide in it than the 10 milligram. But still, if you only put a 1-to-1 ratio, that would be a half a syringe, then it becomes really potent. So I don't like to just do a half a milligram, because if you make a small mistake and pull a little too much or not quite enough, it's really potent, so that becomes more exaggerated. But if you fill it with one full syringe or 1 milliliter of the water, then it's a little more highly diluted, and you won't have as big of grievances when it comes to your dosing if you make small mistakes. So that's why the 5 milligram still gets 1 full syringe of the bacterial static water, and it's the only one that's not a 1-to-1 ratio. So it's really important to understand that. But what happens is, instead of the 1 milligram being 10 like all the other ones, all you do is double everything. So instead, 20 milligrams will equal 1 milligram. Sorry, 20 units will equal 1 milligram. 40 units, somewhere close to there, will equal 2 milligrams. So everything is doubled for a 5 milligram vial. So hopefully I didn't make any mistakes in the way that I was saying it. I got cruising along there, but that's what I want you to understand, is that the 5 milligram only is going to be the one that is doubled. So 10 equals half a milligram. 20 equals 1 milligram. If you need to do 1.5 milligram, you would do 30. So I know that makes it a little confusing, but it kind of has to be that way, so those little mistakes aren't going to get your dosing way off. So hopefully this helps. One last time through, a full syringe is 100 units, or 1 milliliter of water, or anything that you put in it, a peptide. It's rare, unless you have been doing this for a long time, that you'll have a dose that looks anything like a full syringe. So remember that. If you're pulling all that out, you better know that you have to take a very, very high dose because of your need, based on how long you've been doing this, and maybe build some tolerance to it. So know that most people, when you first start, it's going to be way up here at the 10, which is just this tiny, tiny amount. Boom. Somewhere right around there. I can't see the 10, but it's going to be a very small amount. If it's the 5 milligram vial, double it for the same amount. That should simplify it. Just know that the 5 milligram, everything is doubled. All the other ones, 10 units equals 1 milligram. 2 milligrams will be 20 units, 3 milligrams, and so on. And that is what that looks like. So hopefully this helps. I just wanted to go over it again, be redundant, and re-explain it just in case you weren't sure. So hopefully this helps, and always reach out if you guys have any additional questions. Thanks for watching.